Hi, my name is Boris and welcome to Cosmic Trading, and today we're going to cover Amazon, QQQ, MAGS, and LLY. Let's start with Amazon real quick. So, like I said last week, we would have a little trouble breaking this, but we managed to break it. Not only we managed to break it, but we also managed to went way above and beyond what I thought we would get stopped by. I thought we would get stopped by this purple trend line, but we went way above and beyond. And now we are currently using this purple trend line as support, which is awesome. Now I want to know where exactly we are at in this current downtrend we're on. Let's do that real quick. So the gap of uncertainty is pretty large on this level 1 downtrend, but as you can see, we did manage to touch gap 2 just a slight bit, and then we got rejected by it. Now we are using this purple trend line as support, so now it kind of makes much more sense. All right, let's move on to QQQ. So QQQ just decided to skip everything, and now we finally pretty much just broke gap 1 of the overall downtrend, which was at a level 1 downtrend. So we're pretty much out of the downtrend currently, and we are using it as support, as you can see from this little candle. So this is fantastic news because QQQ represents the tech world, and if the overall tech world is out of a downtrend, that is great, if anything. But I'm a little scared personally because we haven't had a breather just yet with this big long wave we just had. So I think the market is due for a little breather. So if we do take a little breather currently, then I think we won't go down more than 7%. That's my opinion. Now let's move on to MAGS. So surprisingly, even though QQQ is pretty much out of the downtrend, the Magnificent 7 stocks are technically still in a downtrend. And as you can see, we are fighting gap 2 currently, and we are getting rejected pretty much 3 times in a row. So if we don't manage to break it, I think we're gonna drop maybe 3, maybe 6% to the downside. So we might use this white trend line as support, and if we do manage to break it, then we have about 5% to the upside before we reach gap 1. That's gonna be our next target to break. Last but not least, let's check LLY. So currently we are back above this yellow trend line, so that should be a fairly strong support for LLY because this is a very long-term uptrend from pretty much the lowest it ever been at level 5. So that should be strong enough to hold us unless we have some major bad news for LLY. So if we start using this as a support and to start bouncing to the upside, then I think we have about 3% before we encounter a little bit of resistance from this, and another 8% before we touch this purple trend line. Now before we move on, I'm curious to see what level are we in the downtrend from back then, which is 73 days away. Let's do that real quick. So from this short-term downtrend, we are about level 2 downtrend currently. So yeah, I was just curious to see how the market is reacting with it. And as you can see, I think we were just using this as support for a little bit as the market was trading downward. Interesting. Anyways, that's it for tonight. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.